Hey guys, Scott back with a new beer dissection video for you. I have a seasonal beer today. I'll just get right to it. From Southern Tier, Pumking, or Punking. It's actually Pumking. Okay. Uh, I did do a video last year, I think, on Southern Tier's Warlock, which is a more of a porter-based almost pumpkin beer, but Southern Tier's Pumking, this usually gets ranked pretty high every year. There are other ones that are better than others, and be honest with you, I actually don't drink pumpkin beers that often. I do a beer channel though. It is in kind of mid-October right now, so I guess it's time for me to do a few more. I do have on my what is styles, or I'm sorry, my beer dissection, a few other pumpkin beers, a couple I think local and a couple commercial. I think Sam Adams. There's a couple others that I think I've done them on there. So just remember with this beer, okay, many times with pumpkin beer, they actually do not use real pumpkin. Now this one I believe does. I think another one on my channel does, because a lot of times pumpkin doesn't have a lot of flavor unless it gets roasted. But that's for your own taste buds to decide on what you like. The big thing that they usually add though is your pumpkin spices that you would usually put in pumpkin pie. Things like cinnamon, ginger, allspice, cloves. Maybe I'm missing one, but cinnamon. This one in particular uses two-row malt. They're using some Munich malt as well as Crystal 60 L. Lovabond, okay? Because a lot of times these beers, it's really the base beer that you're like really looking to see what they're going to spice and how the beer is actually going to come out. I think Sam Adams had almost used like a blonde ale, and it's just, the spices are great, but I just feel like there should be some type of a quote unquote meatier backbone of a beer. That's why their I think it's their Warlock, which is another imperial pumpkin that they have from Southern Tier, uses almost like a brown ale to a porter type of base beer, and they spice it. So really what people crave is typically the cinnamon, ginger, allspice, clove. They use some variation of all those. And if I didn't say ginger. And that's it. And that's pretty much what they throw in the beer at varying amounts, and you get varying intensities. And like I said, some will use actual pumpkin. This one I believe does. My suspicion is that the Sam Adams doesn't, but I could be wrong on that. That's the Jacko one. Because the reason why a lot of times brewers don't use it, and I even know it as a home brewer, in a small scale home brewing, it clogs up the equipment a lot. It's a mess. So a lot of times they don't want to do it, but because they're advertising as a pumpkin beer, they sometimes feel obligated to use the actual pumpkin. But honestly, if they're not really roasting it or doing anything with the pumpkin, it doesn't impart that much flavor to it. All right. This one from Southern Tier, again, nice. I'm sure I'll have it over my shoulder. Pretty cool looking jack-o'-lantern looking guy. I'm thinking of that Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman. That's it. This is coming at 8.6% alcohol, and they call it an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. And best by July of 2025. I'm sitting here in October of 23, so I'm presuming this is extremely fresh. And that's pretty much it. All right, so I'm just using a regular tulip glass. I know at some breweries, they'll put sometimes there's like maple syrup or a corn syrup, and they'll put like the cinnamon sugar. Some will actually use almost like a maple syrup, dip the glass in like this. I don't particularly like that. I'm definitely not doing that today. That's usually personal preference. When I'm at a place that I do order a pumpkin beer occasionally. This time of the year, I will, a lot of times at the breweries, get the pumpkin beer just to see what theirs tastes like. Especially since I do a beer channel, beer geek, and study beer a lot. I'll do that. So again, Southern Tier Pumking. Let's pour this bad boy out and take a look at it. Again, I'm expecting this is going to be one of the better ones. I know there's others that get ranked a little bit higher than this, but this is one of the better ones. I'm not going to pour it really heavy with it. I'm not going to get a lot of heavy head here, but let's take a look at it. And that little shallow, soft pour. I still got a nice, good, 1/4 inch of white to light tan head, a little bit, manila kind of looking color. The beer itself is looking, that nice, bright, medium gold color, perfectly clear for the most part. I can maybe see myself through the other side a little bit, but very pretty. It's almost looking like the base beer is kind of like a pale ale. Again, with Crystal 60, Munich malt will add a lot more depth of color and flavor to it, and that's what they're using in this, as well as two-row. And like I said, I think I looked real quick on their website. I think they're using Crystal 60. So, Lovabond, okay? And they're using, that's right, they're using CTZ hops, which I've used in home brewing before. It's been a while. I think the IBUs are coming around 30 IBUs, give or take. Okay, I can't remember. I think it was on a style beer like this. I'm not really worried too much about the bitterness units, but okay. So very pretty looking beer. Okay, let's take a sniff of the aroma. I should have had my Teku glass. I could have spun it a little bit better. Oh wow, ooh. You definitely getting hit. First thing I got was the nutmeg. It's got everything. Nutmeg, got the cinnamon in there. I'm not big at picking up allspice. I don't know if I'm anosmic to it, or I just don't have enough allspice and hit my, cupboards here a little bit I probably have to train a little bit more on the allspice. But definitely the ginger, clove, and cinnamon I'm getting, and nutmeg, without a doubt. I cook with nutmeg, believe it or not. Really good though, extremely powerful on the aromatics, but good. I mean, if you're looking for pumpkin beer, that's what you're expecting, right? You're not just expecting a, pumpkin smell, right? Sometimes it doesn't smell that great. But there is a slight, caramel kind of aroma to it, or even like biscuity. I should probably say more like a biscuit top type of caramelization, brioche type of malt. And that's probably coming from the Munich malt as well as the Crystal 60. Okay. But definitely if you had your eyes closed and you didn't know, and they stuck this in front of you and you smelled it, it smells like Thanksgiving, pumpkin pie. But it smells very good. One of the better ones that I recall having recently that have, the aromatics like this. All right, so cheers, guys. Let's get right to it. Whoa. Pretty high carbonated. You might as well say that. Kind of medium bodied, but what I meant to say first too is the first thing you really get is that medley of the pumpkin spices. Second time this week I've used the word medley in my beers reviews. Again, clove, nutmeg, cinnamon. Again, I don't pick up allspice. I got to train more on allspice, but you definitely know this is Thanksgiving. This is Halloween, harvest season type of beer. Without a doubt, very pronounced flavor. But what's also good, though, is that the base beer has, again, biscuit top, bread crust, brioche type of malt backbone there. So you have a decent amount of malt backbone. Not as much malt backbone as their Warlock, which was their Imperial Pumpkin, which is a darker, like I said, the brown ale porter side, but enough backbone that it's not like Sam Adams that has their Jacko. I think it's almost like a blonde ale that they just threw the spices in there. But these spices smell very pronounced, very fresh smelling. Okay, like again, I'm not an expert. If you gave me clove or ginger, I should say, ginger or cinnamon that was fresh or sitting in your cupboard for 2 years. But it's just pronounced, you notice it right away on the nose, you notice it right away on the palate. It's really good. I mean, and like I said, it's carrying quite a punch at 8.6%. So you definitely want to drink these carefully. There's no astringency. There is a little warmth though. As I'm sitting there, a little bit of a warmth that I'm feeling, besides the coughing I have with all the allergies I get this time of the year, believe it or not, spring and this time of the year I get it. Sorry about the coughing, but you get that warmth in the throat but no astringency to it. It's not solventy, so it is okay. It's pretty pleasant. Bitterness, it's pretty low to moderate. I'm letting it, sometimes the bitterness takes a little while to hit me. And I gotta say, that time on the nose, I guess I am getting the aromatics of pumpkin. I don't know if they're roasting it, maybe not, but you're cutting a pumpkin around this time of the year, maybe with your kids, and you smell that kind of gourd-like type of aromatic. That's kind of what I'm getting here on the nose too. But anyway, guys, very good, very good. And again, I'm not a big pumpkin beer person. And actually, recently, I've only been getting the pumpkin beers because I do a beer channel. And I probably wouldn't order it a lot of times. And I mean, I was at a brew pub or a microbrewery, I would. But I have to say, the Southern Tier Pumking I've had before, other years. If you're looking for pumpkin beer, I'd highly recommend it. This has all of it in there. It has all the spices you want: cinnamon, coriander. Not coriander. Ginger, clove, nutmeg. It's all in there. It's very pronounced on the aromatics as well as on the taste buds. For those of you like a little punch of the alcohol, you have it there without it being solventy. And there is enough malt backbone to this that they're not just throwing into like a Kona Big Wave or some other blonde ale. It's kind of more of a pale ale, American pale ale backbone, almost like a Sierra Nevada pale ale, without having the copious amounts of Cascade hops. It's using the CTZ and less bitterness than that. But I think if you want a pumpkin beer and you crave it, this is going to be pretty readily available, especially right now. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this. So in the world of pumpkin beers, I got to give it pretty high grade. I'm going to say, A-. And I'm only saying A- because I think the Warlock is a bit better. It's a little different. It's also like a more of a brown ale porter backbone, like I said earlier. I'm going to say a good A-. Overall drinkability, I'll keep it around that A-. And then, compared to other pumpkin beers, I'm just going to keep it there because, like I said, it's definitely better than Jacko from Sam Adams, from my recollection, and a few others. There were 2 or 3 others on my beer dissection. If you are craving for pumpkin beer videos, take a look for that. So anyway, guys, we'll say A-, and that's pretty much it. So today's beer dissection was from Southern Tier, the famous Pumking that's seasonal, comes out every year at 8.6. It's the epitome of what you'd expect for a pumpkin beer, and one of the better ones out there, and very economical, very easy to get. All right, guys, till the next beer dissection video, beer video in general, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.